I'm Francois Challet, head cheesemaker at Laura Chenel here in Sonoma, and you're listening to Ingredient Insiders.
This is Ingredient Insiders. I'm John Magazzino.
And I'm Andrea Parkins.
On each episode of Ingredient Insiders, we'll be speaking with chefs and authors and food makers about their favorite ingredients.
And then we'll talk to the producer of that ingredient so we can learn how it's made, its history, and why chefs love to use it when they're cooking.
We got a cheesemaker today, Andrea.
We do. So cool.
And we're in Northern California.
Love it. It's so gorgeous here, John.
It really is beautiful. Clear blue skies.
And we're talking...
Goats frolicking on the hills.
Yes, I see them butting heads.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Laura Chenel goat cheese.
She's one of the pioneers of the goat cheese industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and really the cheese industry in Northern California. It's all these very amazing women who started these companies. And I think when I hear goat cheese, Laura Chenel is one of the brands that comes to mind. It's one in our portfolio. It's one that chefs ask for by name. So I'm really excited to learn about her, how she started the company, and kind of what makes the cheese so good.
And we're going to be talking with the cheesemaker. Who are we talking to today?
We're talking to Francois Challet. He's the head cheesemaker here. He has decades experience producing goat cheese. So I'm really excited, John, to not only learn about the cheese, but also see how it's made here in California.
All right. Talking all about goat cheese.
With Laura Chenel.
And Francois.
This episode is in partnership with The Chef's Warehouse and produced by Gotham Production Studios in New York City.
John.
Yes, Andrea.
We are so lucky today. We got to wake up in beautiful Sonoma, California, and we're sitting here today at Laura Chenel Chev with their head cheesemaker, Francois Challet.
How exciting.
Isn't this so beautiful?
So beautiful.
So
another amazing spot in California.
I mean, I feel like every time we go to a place, it's just even more beautiful than the next. How did you, I guess, get started making goat cheese?
Well, actually, I started making cow cheese.
Okay.
So in 1986. So with my previous group, Saventia Group, cow cheese for a good 15 years. And then I switched to sheep cheese for another good 15 years. So it's different going from soft ripened cheese, cow cheese, to hard pressed cheese where you see the product live, in your aging rooms, much more time.
Sure.
So you grew up in France.
Yes.
Was it a cheese-making family? Was there a lot of cheese in your life, I would imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born, in Basque Country. And Basque Country is really the land for the hard pressed sheep cheese. We have a DOP or AOP over there, also Yati.
Uh-huh.
So I was born within this environment, and everyone is pretty much making cheese, in the country, and so it's naturally that I stayed in this environment and went to the cheese industry from cow to sheep and now goat cheese with Laura Chenel.
Amazing.
So tell us, I guess, a little bit about the history of Laura Chenel. I know, she started this in 1979, right?
Yeah, right. Correct.
One of the first in California, if I'm not correct.
Yeah. So she was the pioneer for sure for goat cheese, industry. Starting the business, in the late 70s. And actually, I want to underline this is a true story. Laura Chenel is still living, around, not too far from here, still in Sonoma County. So true story. She started in the late 70s after, a trip to France where she actually discovered and got familiar with the goat cheese. So her dream was to start or make the dream, get real here in Northern California.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize or we take for granted today because we have beautiful goat cheese in the United States. At that time, it's hundreds of years
of history of cheese making in France and other parts
Europe,
of the
yeah.
world where they were using goats.
Yeah.
But here, I don't think anybody.
No.
She was one of the pioneers.
She was the first one, the pioneer for and so she. But the way she planned her dream to make it real. She from the very beginning she was committed to quality of cheese and innovation. And from the very beginning, she kept this high level, standard quality of cheese, and that's how she started.
Did she just go out and buy some goats after her trip to France?
Yeah. Start in her farm, here in Sebastopol, and raising goats, milking goats, making cheese, and selling the cheese. So her days and nights were pretty full.
Was she making the cheese? For chefs, was that her dream? Was it she wanted it to be in restaurants?
Was it just friends
or
or
was
farmers
it
markets?
right?
Yeah.
Her dream was high quality for sure from the very beginning. So that's where the word spread out, and that's I think it's one of the key milestones in her story that she met Alice Waters and Chef Anis at that time, and Alice Waters was creating this farm to table movement, and then she was chosen as by Alice Waters as a high
one
quality,
of those top
cheesemaker, goat cheesemaker in Sonoma County. And of course, being having this relationship with Alice Waters opened a larger window for this quality of cheese, and that's how she gained more customers. In the 80s, I would say.
That's a pretty good place to start. When Alice Waters likes your product, it says a lot.
I think she had it on her menu, the warm goat cheese salad. So I'm assuming that was kind of like, oh, if Alice is doing it, then I want to do it too.
Yeah, and then with the reputation of the cheese, and that's where the main items or the main cheese being the chef, the spreadable, and the logs too. They went to other customers and Chef Warehouse, and that's how today keeping we took the legacy, keeping the quality at the standard at the level she was she was at before she sold her business to the Tribala family in 2011, and we of course with innovation, and we try to keep this quality level at the level we got it, and of course improve, because we are in a continuous improvement way of improving quality of our cheese.
Sure.
Yes.
Talk to us about the cheese though, flavor profile, what makes it unique, or
so of course you start with milk always. Cow, sheep or goat, you start with milk, and we have a strong relationship with the producers, the farmers, in the West Coast here. We meet them minimum. It's once a year. We do Zoom conference meetings, and with them we are really really close with them, because you cannot get a high quality cheese without getting a high quality milk at the very beginning. So we want them to be aware of that. They are aware. We are working with them on these topics. The way they raise goats, the way they feed them, and even we have our marketing and sales team, the Rail BJ. They visited the few farms, but we stay in touch and really close, because we know if we don't get the good milk, we won't make the good cheese.
Right.
That's as simple as that. So the milk we get from those farmers, the main difference, what makes it unique, it's we take the milk the way it is. So bring it to the creamery, and then we pasteurize the milk. Right. But we don't it's common now in the dairy industry. They right away, you put the fat on one side, you get skim milk on the other side. Nothing of that. We just take the milk the way it is and pasteurize and process it and add culture and rennet, of course. But that's what makes our flavors, this tanginess, this really tangy flavor, sweet. When I say sweet, the soft texture of our cheeses, are in the milk at the beginning, for sure.
Amazing.
And of course, the cheesemaker then will adapt the technique to the milk, because milk is not the same, because we don't do anything, from January 1st to December 31st. So we adapt the process and the technique to the milk
to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
So every time the chef orders it, it's the same quality each time.
And I feel like Laura Chenel, though, obviously been around since 1979, as you mentioned, always stayed very true to the chev, whereas a lot of other, some of the pioneers also in the goat farming and goat milk and goat cheese kind of ventured off into doing different cheese, very different cheeses.
More
like if you look at
aged.
Cypress Grove and some of the other producers of goat cheeses, where they were adding a lot of flavors and a lot of different things. I feel like Laura Chenel has really been all about the chev and the young goat cheeses with a real personality.
And I actually, when we call it chef.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly it, right? It's made for the chef.
Yeah.
They can count on it. They know.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes to the brand and the longevity and how popular it is still today.
Yeah. Talk us through the line. How many products are there from Laura Chenel? What do we carry at Chef's Warehouse?
Yeah.
And kind of I would love to just dive in because
Absolutely. So across the country, on the East Coast, we always have the 2-pound logs and the tubs and the crumbles.
Yep.
And then as you work your way west, where the marinated goat cheese is definitely more
Love
popular,
that product.
that's going to be stronger in Texas and on our West Coast markets.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have all together, I don't count them every day, but I would say around 25
Oh, wow.
SKUs.
So it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you see, I guess, the market going? You're always going to have these staples here to kind of ground you. Where, what's the next kind of phase in the business?
Well, the business, I think, I think it's to strengthen our, market in the West Coast for sure.
Okay.
But then, spread a little bit more towards, the Middle East, and we are doing business in back east too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
we're
I
New
would say-
Yorkers or East Coasters.
Yeah.
We know Laura Chenel
But
quite well.
Absolutely.
The main area is for sure the western,
Still
the West Coast,
California.
no, West
Yeah.
Coast.
West Coast.
Just the 4 or 5 states.
Yep.
So if you're on the East Coast and you're listening to this, call your rep right now and place an order.
Yeah, exactly.
And try this amazing goat cheese.
Yeah.
So we're also looking at some flavors. Is the market trends driving the flavors that you're choosing? How do you come up with the flavors that you're going to introduce to the goat cheese?
So this is very important for us because it's regarding innovation first of all, and all those flavors. There's the studies before going to the industrial or producing side. They're the highlights are given by marketing and R&D. So that's where the story starts in our creamery. And then we go for trials, and then after trials, if we have the go, of course, we go to the industrial side. But the very first part comes from marketing and
So they're
and
they're
R&D.
monitoring for trends within the chef community.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
This season of Ingredient Insiders is brought to you by Bizzini Nuts, a name synonymous with exceptional quality and taste in the world of gourmet nuts and dried fruits. Whether you're crafting a Michelin star-worthy dish or just whipping up something delicious in your home kitchen, Bizzini's premium selection is designed to inspire your culinary creativity. Elevate your dishes with the rich texture and flavors that only Bizzini nuts can offer. From toasted almonds, perfect for garnishing, to pistachios that add a crunch to your salads, Bizzini has everything you need to enhance your recipes. Don't miss this chance to impress your palate and your guests with Bizzini nuts, the chef's choice for quality and flavor.
What are people doing? What are the chefs doing with Chev these days? Is it it's not just salads?
No, not at all. Where do you see it? Have you seen any unique applications?
just for chefs, you mean? I in my mind is it's a spreadable cheese. So I'm assuming they're using as a spreadable on the
tarts,
whatever dish they're preparing in their kitchens.
Crostinis. Yeah. I'm picturing it in pasta fillings.
But there is a pretty wide range of dishes where you can, or in your menu where you can insert the our chef.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The other thing I always like to talk to about goat cheese too, especially it seems like it's more recent, is that a lot of people who don't like to consume lactose or a lot of lactose, this seems to be much more digestible. I know for myself personally, when I eat goat cheese, I am much happier than cow's milk.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to speak a little bit to that.
Well, about tolerance, about lactose. So what I want to tell you is, when you eat cheese, especially after aging 2-3, and I'm not talking about 2 weeks or 3 weeks aging, so the lactose is gone.
It starts to break down. It's gone.
It's gone. So because the bacteria used it as sugar, to age the cheese. Yeah. So, but about the tolerance, you're true. If you go now, and I think it's a trend right now. If you listen to doctors. Yeah, they tell you, don't avoid cow milk or go to goat milk.
To the goat.
Like it's easier to digest and less lactose
less
too.
Inflammation or whatever it is. Because and to your point, like I'll eat aged Parmigiano Reggiano. Never feel great.
Totally fine. Yeah,
feel great.
There's
and I love,
zero lactose on those products
for
sure.
I love brie and I love camembert, but I eat them and I feel weighed down and
you get a little gassy, John?
bloaty, and inflammation, and I actually even get like sinus stuff.
Yeah.
When I eat goat cheese, I don't get any of that, and that's why I really go to the goat stuff now.
Yeah.
I also read that goat's cheese is between 30 and 40% less calories than cow's milk cheese.
Yeah.
So you are going to have something that's a little bit healthier than some of your cow counterparts,
and less fat.
Yeah,
the better fat than cow, and sheep milk is another
so
story.
A lot of benefits,
a lot of attributes and benefits to eating goat cheeses,
health wise. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So is Laura Chenel still part of the process? Is she still coming in and tasting things, or is she completely stepped away?
No, she stepped away.
Okay.
When she sold the business in 2006, I know for sure, I wasn't there, but it was a really hard decision on her side. And but no, she's like I was telling you earlier, she lives, not too far from here. I haven't seen her yet, but I'm hoping that one of these days I will knock at her door.
I wonder if she still has some goats in her backyard.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe in the backyard, yeah.
Does Laura Chenel have their own? Is it a flock of goats? What do you call it? A herd of goats?
Yeah, it's a herd.
No, we don't. When the Tribala family built the Laura Chenel creamery in Sonoma in 2011, so no, the decision was made to because she was already working with other producers.
Sure,
she wasn't milking enough milk on her farm.
Yeah.
So we took over the whole thing, the producers, and no, we don't have
I think that's smart. I mean, we've spoken to a lot of cheesemakers, and it's also just, are you a cheesemaker or are you a farmer? I mean, they're two very different things. And if you can get and source high quality milk, which Laura Chenel does, why raise all of these animals?
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how she was managing that, but raising goat, milking goats, making cheese, selling cheese.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
For me, it's mission impossible.
Better to focus on the cheese making and getting and making sure you're getting the quality raw milk.
Yeah.
How many farmers? Is it a co-op?
No, we have 9 farmers. Yeah.
That's super small.
Spread, on the.
I love that.
This is still very much an artisanal product.
Totally. Yeah. You hear sometimes these companies, we work with hundreds of farmers, and I feel like you might lose something that you lose some control.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're really kind of maintaining that control and consistency, which is amazing.
We are considered artisan, cheesemakers, and even in the cheese making on the milk supply, we remain artisan. With a few, milk suppliers.
What's your favorite way to eat it?
I like the marinated. Yeah,
you like the marinated?
I'm a marinated guy.
Yeah.
I love.
What do you do with it?
I buy the logs of Laura Chenel and do exactly what they do. I put it into a bowl when my friends are coming over, and I put in bay leaves and peppercorns
and keep some olive oil and smash it with a fork and spread it on a cracker.
Exactly, and that's what I do. I take baguettes and either toasted or untoasted, and then just smear that on.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Another thing I love to do is I love goat cheese in omelet, obviously in salads, but also in omelets, because it really melts out really nicely. It softens up and just, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot in like a quiche.
I think
or
Jen
a frittata.
Sussman is the one who told me to put it in frittatas.
Which one are you using for omelets?
I just use I use the logs just because I buy one log is enough for my family.
Plain. You put plain.
Just plain. Plain. Yeah. What are some of the options that we have here in the line for the flavors?
So flavors. So here we have the garlic and chive.
Delicious.
Garlic and chive, and then we have some sweet flavors. So we have honey, fig and grapefruit, cranberry, more seasonal item. Yep. And then since actually last year, this is innovation from last year, the mango habanero. Oh. So a touch of sweetness and a touch of spicy, both combined. It's really nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's in R&D right now? Anything on the horizon?
Well, the last one I cannot tell you
everything. Secret. All right. I'm always trying to figure out, am I going to get any?
The last item we launched is the pear, rosemary, and wine.
Okay.
Log. We launched last.
Here, John. It's right here. Put it in your pocket.
This one, We'll
take it home.
It's for you.
And then, of course, there's the crumbles, which are amazing in salads and other applications.
Or pizzas.
And pizza,
too,
It's a really good labor saver, too. You can really measure if you're like making something and you want to make sure that you're not using too little or too much. The crumbles is a good option.
Mm-hmm. And lately, this is the perfect example of innovation. So this like 3 or 4 years ago. No, this was Chef Uncle. This is from last year, actually. So this is combining... this is more from the warm way of eating goat cheese. So combining a dough with goat cheese. So and just you put it in the oven, and then it gives you when you warm all these, and we have thyme and rosemary inside, and this when you warm the cheese, it gives you
the kitchen probably smells amazing, right?
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And this is just for retail right now.
Yes. So.
I'm just thinking about our hors d'oeuvre line at Chef's Warehouse, and this would be killer. Like chefs would love it.
So when the Trubalet family took over the operations of Laura Chenel, I know that sustainability was a big part of what they wanted to accomplish. So can you talk to us a little bit about some of the efforts that were made as far as stewardship of the land and the farming, and what kind of stuff is done in terms of sustainability?
So when the creamery was built in 2011, the way it was built, first of all, it was built on a sustainable way. We put solar panels, like 1,000 solar panels on the roof, and then we got the LEED Gold certification, for based on our commitment to, of course, sustainable practices within the plant, like water usage, saving, chemical saving, more on the water side, and highly efficient, I would say equipment, not using too much power. On the other side.
So really, a lot of efforts in the areas of conservation.
And
solar. Water, all things obviously important everywhere in the world, but very important in California.
Absolutely.
Where you've got a lot
and
of
the third point too, which is a key point too, is the way we manage our wastewater. So I don't know if you're aware, but dairy industry is very the cleaning part is very important, where you use, basically to give you an idea, where you use 1 gallon of milk, you need 3 gallons of water to clean.
Oh, wow.
To give you an idea.
Yeah.
So the way we manage our wastewater now is we are really, really with the county, and we are really monitoring that. And we, like 3 years ago, we were chosen by the county as they brought a group of students they were, they would
do a
learn
study,
about
yep.
how to monitor the wastewater. So it was a great, honor for us
Yeah.
to welcome these. There were 15 students like 3 years ago, to show them how we manage the wastewater. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great product with a great story, and they're doing really amazing things
Absolutely.
for the land here.
So you've been a cheesemaker for how long?
Well, I don't count the years anymore, but
Okay.
count from
For-
1986.
Okay.
So it's like
So,
37.
Before you were born,
Yeah.
Andrea.
Well, no, I was born.
Oh, okay. All right. Not too far off.
Not too, yeah. What would you say to somebody who wants to become a cheesemaker, an up and comer, about getting into this business? What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, you have to get some passion.
Mm-hmm.
Passion. You cannot last that long if you don't have this passion. So, and then you have to be, depending on which milk you work with, but this is the way I've always, monitored my career. I'm always open to new way of making cheese, new milk, try. Of course, you don't, succeed any time you try,
Yeah,
but at least
but
if
take
you don't
some
try,
chances,
yeah.
there's no success.
It's okay to take some
chances.
risks.
So risk. Yeah, taking risk, and then just go with your passion and with your head and with your ideas, and take the risk.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
I've learned so much.
Me
I knew I
too.
loved these cheeses, but now getting the story behind the cheese really brings it full circle for
Absolutely.
me. I cannot wait to eat some more marinated goat cheese.
Yeah. And again, if
And-
you are a chef listening to this, please call your sales rep, place your order for Laura Chenel, and you can always find our products at chefswarehouse.com.
Yeah, and even for next week, it's not too late. Today's Saturday, if they
Right.
want to place the order.
You
That's
could get
right.
this on Monday. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Thanks, Francois.
thank
what
you
a
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ingredient Insiders. Follow us on Instagram at Ingredient Insiders. You can find the products we discussed on today's episode at chefswarehouse.com or at your favorite specialty retailer.